8 design crimes that make your home look cheap, no matter how much you spent. You just dropped $3,000 on a couch. $3,000, and your living room still looks like a college dorm. What the hell is going on? Look, I am going to tell you something interior designers charge $200 an hour to tell you. Looking expensive has almost nothing to do with how much you spend. It has everything to do with specific mistakes you are making right now. Mistakes nobody explained to you. Mistakes furniture stores want you to make because it benefits them. Today, I am showing you the 8 design crimes that are sabotaging your home. And what is really going to piss you off is how easy they are to fix, once you know what to look for. Some of these are going to make you uncomfortable. You are going to recognize your own living room, your own bedroom. But I promise you this. After this video, you will never look at a room the same way again. Stick around until the end. Because the last crime is the one most people ignore, and the easiest to fix. And if this kind of content that saves you thousands of dollars in mistakes sounds useful, you know what to do with that subscribe button. Let's get into it. Crime number 1, the matching set. Let's start with the most common crime, and probably the one you're committing right now. The matching furniture set. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The bedroom where the bed, nightstands, and dresser all came out of the same box. The living room where the sofa, love seat, and coffee table are from the same collection. Here is what's going to bother you. 5 interior designers, independently and without knowing each other, pointed out that matching sets are the #1 factor that makes a home look cheap. Designer Tina Ramchandani puts it bluntly, they flatten the space and leave no room for personality. And you know why stores sell you complete sets? Because it is the easiest sale in the world. You walk in, point at a display, and say, "I'll take all of it." And the salesperson is already rubbing their hands together. But here is what you are really communicating when someone walks into your home. I did not think about it. I did not curate this space. I bought everything at once and called it done. Homes that look expensive tell a story. They look assembled over time. They mix eras, finishes, and styles intentionally. The fix. You do not have to throw everything out. Start by breaking up the set. Your nightstands match your bed perfectly? Replace one with a vintage piece. Even a small desk works. Your living room furniture is all from the same collection? Swap the coffee table for something in a different material. Use wood if you have metal. Use metal if you have wood. Designer Hannah Goldberg says it perfectly. Mixing eras adds personality. A vintage nightstand, a mid-century dresser, an antique mirror. These elements, in small doses, work with any style. The goal is to coordinate, not match. Pieces should feel like they belong together, not like they came off the same assembly line. Crime number 2, the pathetic rug. This crime is everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. A tiny rug floating in the middle of the living room. A rug that does not even touch the front legs of the sofa. A bedroom rug that barely peeks out from under the bed. Designer Nika Andre says it straight. Small rugs make a space look incomplete. And the worst part, you probably paid good money for that rug. By buying the wrong size, you threw that money in the trash. One designer compared it to trying to cover a swimming pool with a hand towel. Why does it look cheap? Because a small rug makes your furniture look like it is floating. It breaks the visual connection. It makes even the most expensive couch look like a random piece you threw there because you did not know what else to do. The fix. Here is the rule nobody tells you. Go bigger than you think you need. In a living room, the rug should be large enough for at least the front legs of all seating to rest on it. Ideally, all legs on the rug. For a standard sofa setup, this means a minimum of 8 by 10 feet. In a bedroom, the rug should extend at least 18 to 24 inches beyond the sides of the bed. You should step onto the rug when you get up, not onto a cold floor. Before buying, do this. Use painter's tape to mark the size on the floor. Live with it for a few days. Does it anchor the furniture? Define the seating area? If not, go bigger. Budget hack. If you cannot afford a large statement rug, layer a smaller patterned rug on top of a larger neutral one. You get the scale without the designer price tag. Crime 3. Interrogation lighting. If there is one thing that separates expensive-looking homes from cheap-looking ones, it is lighting, and most of you have it completely wrong. The problem is that you are relying on a single overhead light source. That basic ceiling fixture designers unaffectionately call a boob light. It produces harsh, flat, unflattering light that casts odd shadows and makes every room feel like an interrogation room. Here is what will really upset you. Good lighting makes cheap furniture look expensive. Bad lighting makes expensive furniture look cheap. You can have the most expensive couch in the world, but if you light it wrong, it will look like you pulled it from a garage sale. Why does bad lighting look cheap? Because good lighting is three-dimensional. It creates depth, warmth, atmosphere. Bad lighting flattens everything. It makes beautiful paint colors look wrong. It adds years to faces, and it drains the energy from a space. The fix: think in layers. Every room needs 3 types of light. Ambient light is your general illumination. Instead of a single harsh overhead, use multiple softer sources or a statement fixture with a dimmer. Task light is focused for activities. Table lamps for reading, under cabinet lights for cooking, a desk lamp for working. Accent light adds drama. Sconces flanking artwork, LED strips inside cabinets, spotlights on architectural features. This is crucial. Replace cool white bulbs with warm bulbs in the range from 2700 to 3000 Kelvin. Install dimmers wherever you can. Budget hack. Rechargeable wall sconces do not require electrical work. Mount them at eye level next to art or mirrors. Designer look, no electrician, no landlord approval needed. Crime number 4. Builder grade everything. If you live in a new build or a rental apartment, you probably have what designers call builder grade finishes. These are the cheapest hardware, fixtures, and materials developers install to maximize profit. Designer Tina Ramchandani doesn't mince words. She says there are so many beautiful and affordable options out there, and there is no excuse for basic when the alternatives are so accessible. What counts as builder grade? Think hollow doors that sound like cardboard, brushed nickel pulls on every surface, the same plain white switch plates throughout the house, cheap chrome faucets, that ceiling fan in the bedroom that looks like it belongs in a government office. Why does it look cheap? Because these finishes scream nobody cared enough to upgrade this. They are the visual equivalent of good enough instead of thoughtfully chosen. And because they are installed in millions of homes, they make your space feel generic, forgettable like everyone else's. The fix. The good news is these are the easiest and cheapest upgrades you can make. Hardware. Swapping cabinet pulls and drawer knobs takes an hour and costs less than $100 for an entire kitchen. Choose brushed brass, oil-rubbed bronze, or matte black instead of the eternal brushed nickel. Switch plates. Designer Christine Vroom says swapping industrial plates for flush mount or brass ones immediately refines the room's details. One faucet. Replace the kitchen or bathroom faucet you use most. A beautiful faucet changes your experience in that space multiple times a day. Light fixtures. Builder-grade fixtures are almost always too small and too basic. A statement fixture transforms a room. That ceiling fan. There are modern options now that look like design pieces, not airport accessories. Crime 5. Art that screams I don't care. This category has multiple offenses. All of them make your home look cheap. Mass-produced art. Designer Lynette Dye warns that using generic art is the fastest way to ruin the vibe. Those framed prints you see in every hotel. Generic canvases from big box stores. The same IKEA poster in 10 million apartments. They communicate nothing except that the owner needed something on the wall. Art hung too high is incredibly common. Art floating near the ceiling rather than at eye level disconnects it from the furniture, and the room feels unbalanced. Aim to hang artwork from 57 to 60 inches from the floor to the center of the piece. Keep it at eye level with the room. Microscopic art. A tiny piece on a huge wall looks like an afterthought and makes the wall feel empty, even though something is there. The dreaded word art. Phrases like live, laugh, love, eat, pray, love, Home Sweet Home, or Blessed are mass-produced slogans that cheapen any space. They are the visual equivalent of stock photos. The fix. Choose art that means something to you. Designer Molly Torres Portnoff says that a page from a book, a framed piece of jewelry, a commissioned watercolor, any of those have equal value if they are cherished and meaningful. Hang it at eye level, from 57 to 60 inches from the floor to the center of the piece. Scale appropriately. Big walls need big art, or group smaller pieces into a proportional gallery. Frame it well. Even inexpensive art looks elevated in a beautiful frame. On a budget, frame pages from vintage books, your kids' art, or download printable art from independent artists. Crime number 6. Proportion nightmares. Designer Amy Youngblood says disproportionate furniture makes a home look cluttered, like pieces were thrown together without thought. Common proportion crimes. Furniture too big for the room. A massive sectional crammed into a small living room with no room to breathe. Furniture too small for the room. A tiny love seat floating in a huge living room, creating an empty, sad feeling. Curtains hung too low, at the window frame instead of near the ceiling. This visually shrinks the room. Curtains too short, panels hovering above the floor instead of barely touching it. Curtains should be hung at least 4 to 6 inches above the window frame, as a minimum. Lamps too small. A tiny lamp on a big nightstand makes even expensive pieces look bad. The fix. Think about visual weight and balance. Curtains install rods high and wide, near the ceiling, and extending 6 to 12 inches beyond the frame on each side. This makes windows look bigger and ceilings higher. Furniture. Leave room to walk comfortably. If the room feels cramped, something is too big. Lamps should be between 1/3 and 1/2 the width of the table they sit on. Use the tape test. Mark dimensions on the floor or wall before buying to visualize scale. Crime number 7. The texture desert. A room with only smooth, flat surfaces feels cold. Impersonal. Cheap. All leather, all glass, all matching finishes, no variety, no depth, no soul. As one designer put it, without texture, a room looks like a hotel. Maybe beautiful, but not lived in. Not yours. Why does lack of texture look cheap? Because texture creates visual interest and warmth. It makes spaces feel cared for and thought through. Expensive interiors always layer textures. Cheap interiors skip this step entirely. The fix. Designer Lorna Gross says rich textures add depth and character. Don't be afraid to layer them. Mix contrasting textures, smooth with rough, shiny with matte, hard with soft. Add a chunky knit throw to a leather sofa. Place a woven basket next to a glass table. Put a jute rug under a velvet ottoman. Combine wood grain with metallic finishes. Small touches help: a textured pillow, a woven tray, a ceramic vase. Linen curtains. Budget pieces transform flat spaces into warm homes. Crime number 8. The cable jungle. This might seem minor, but exposed tangled cables make any space look instantly unfinished. Cheap. Designer Isabella Tokarski says, tangled cords, exposed power strips, and dangling television cables interrupt the visual flow and distract from carefully selected elements. The fix. Invest in cable management, such as boxes that hide power strips. Use cable covers that run along baseboards. Use wireless charging stations. For wall-mounted televisions, run cables through the wall or use a paintable cable cover. Position furniture strategically to hide outlets. Use Velcro ties to bundle cables behind desks. This $5 upgrade makes a $5,000 difference in how polished your space looks. Here's what all these crimes have in common. It's not about money, it's about intention. The difference between a home that looks expensive and one that looks cheap comes down to thoughtful decisions. Curated pieces instead of matching sets. Proper scale instead of whatever fits. Layered lighting instead of one overhead fixture. Personal art instead of factory prints. You don't need to spend more, you need to choose better. And here is what frustrates me. Nobody teaches you this. Furniture stores don't tell you because they profit from selling you the complete set. Builders don't tell you because it is cheaper to install generic finishes. Decor influencers don't tell you because they are too busy pushing products. Start with one crime from this list. The one that made you cringe because you recognized it in your own home. Fix it this week, then move to the next one. Small changes compound. A better rug here, better lighting there, different hardware, properly hung art. Suddenly, your home looks designed with intention. Which of these crimes did you recognize in your house? Be honest in the comments. We've all committed at least one.